of how you put a movie together were all very apparent to me, and it was all very like obvious to me. This movie just blended everything in well.
And just from a design level, because I'm a monster movie guy, I like creatures, I like creature effects, and this is the first Alien movie in a long time where I've actually liked the design of the creatures.
Yeah.
A lot of recent movies like Super 8 or like Cloverfield, it just feels like a big mess of like tentacles and vagina faces and things like that.
Yeah.
And I genuinely like the look of these, and there's parts when there's close-ups of them where it almost looks like maybe it could have been a rubber puppet monster.
Yeah.
It maybe was.
Like
I don't know.
Monster.
But the fact that I'm not completely positive, like, oh, that's CG. Like, that's a testament to the movie.
They'll come back with more, and there will be no survivors. What they did to my people.
I say good men do bad things, bad men do good things. You go get our people back.
There were a lot of fairly predictable little subplots woven into the film. You know, like Harrison Ford, like, you know, here's a knife.
Oh, the knife thing, yeah.
You will use this.
I think he actually said at some point later in this movie, you will use this knife.
Right. And the obvious, the barkeep character, who's played by Sam Rockwell, he cannot shoot a gun for shit.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at the end of the movie, he shoots the gun perfectly and saves somebody.
Right.
So it's like, okay, later on he's going to hit something that's an impossibly hard to hit.
But it's almost refreshing when something is set up early on in a movie where it does pay off.
Right. Speaking of the aliens and how they had a neat look, you know, it wasn't horribly generic or anything. I really liked it, actually.
Yeah, me too.
There was a lot of cool, like, alien technology and horrifying alien things that happened in the movie that were very... It was almost like the movie was done intentionally that way through the eyes of a simpler man.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And like where they don't understand kind of what they're seeing, which was neat.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig has a lot of flashbacks about his experience being sucked up into the alien spaceship, and there's some really, really well done, creepy, horrifying visuals.
Some of the stuff on the ship were, very creepy.
And you can't dismiss all that because of the movie's subject matter. It's actually a shame that they called the movies Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
When I think of Cowboys and Aliens, I think of like snakes on a plane, or just something really sort of stupid and simplistic. Yeah. And that's when I first heard about this movie. That's what I thought. Like, wow, that's almost audacious to call your movie, like, to make your movie that blatant in the title. But it's almost a too well-made movie for such a B-movie kind of schlock title. Because
I believe there is an old 1950s movie called, like, Cowboys versus Dinosaurs, or something like that.
Valley of the Guanji is about cowboys fighting dinosaurs.
Yes, where they're lassoing them.
That's Valley of the Guanji.
And there is a scene in this movie where someone lassos the guy. Again, the title is sort of schlocky, which implies that it's going to be campy.
Right, which it isn't, which maybe is what is putting some people off.
It's exactly what I like, when a science fiction premise takes itself 100% serious. And I hate Will Smith, and I hate wisecracking in a science fiction movie. I just hate it. I love it in a comedy. But when something horrifying happens, I love it when things are taken seriously. I believe I even said that in my interview with Sexy Nerd Girl.
You do a lot of reviews. What makes a good science fiction movie to you? Like, what do you look for when you're watching?
I look for believability. I don't like when a science fiction movie is too, like, goofy. I kind of like it when the characters are realistic and the events are realistic, and it's kind of like how science fiction events would occur in real life.
Yeah.
It may not be action and explosion a minute. It may take a long time to set up the characters. It may move slowly, but in the end, it's satisfying. And that's just what I wanted. This movie was a cinematic bowel movement for me. It was, wasn't it? After months and months and months of horrifying constipation. so completely by the numbers. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to wait for the hero to fight the bad guy on the roof. Like, the bad guy can't just accidentally fall off the roof and die.
Yeah.
And go, oh, or the bad guy gets killed by a random security guard. And the hero goes, oh.
Or the Red Skull gets killed by Captain America just sort of punching him, and
The Red Skull has an unrelated aneurysm and dies. It has to be like, and you're waiting for it. Come on, get to the part where, and it's like, and this movie had that in a very mild way, to where it was very unoffensive. And there was lots of little things that didn't offend me that should have, but didn't.
Well, that's because it was surrounded by other elements. It wasn't like that was the focal point of the ending. Was just Daniel Craig fights that one alien. There was other things happening.
Yeah.
There was multiple plot lines that were coming to a head.
Yeah. And I think that's why people are not responding to this movie positively, or are completely positively, is because all those elements that are so bred into our brains at this point are very toned down or not overdone, and people are just used to that at this point. And that's why it was refreshing to me. It's like, this movie is not punching me in the face with stupidity, and I applaud them for not being stupid. Oh my God!
Oh my God! Really?
Was that another brick?
Another brick just came through the window. Pick it up and see what this one says.
Maybe audiences don't want too much story distracting them, or something. So, Cowboys and Aliens, do you recommend it to our fine audience?
I would recommend Cowboys and Aliens to an audience with an attention span, and to people that like movies that have a consistent tone and aren't a sloppy mess.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an incredibly smart movie, and Harrison Ford is fun in it. Daniel Craig is good in it. Olivia Wilde is great. I can't say it's a fun movie.
Well, it's a Western. Tonally, it's a Western.
Yeah.
And it follows that through the whole movie. So would you recommend the movie as well?
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was a good movie. But if you are a dumb kid who thinks that a story and characters get in the way of a movie and are distracting the audience from special effects, you will not like this movie because you will be bored because you're stupid. So don't go see it. I'm just saying I like it. But if you're a person that likes movies and likes performances and likes visuals, and that was another thing too I wanted to mention. I think we saw an actual film print. Yeah, because I noticed little imperfections, and I noticed when I saw Transformers 3 that it was not a film print. It looked digital. I can't describe it, but it looked crappy, and then it looked flat. This was glorious widescreen. It was a great image.
Desert landscapes, real actors,
real backgrounds, and so it had sort of a nostalgic quality to it. And so if you're a fan, I don't mean to keep sidetracking, but when they print in the ad, this is a 2D or 3D projection, they need to print digital or film print next to it, because that would make me choose which theater I was watching at. Oh! Oh! Well, this one's for me.
Hi, I'm your nostalgia chick, and I don't know about you, but